or the
BS Cream, student of University of Mindanao.
and we are going to explore the Philippine Fisheries Code of 1998.
So what is the law all about? Let's dive into the topic. According to data from 2018, the Philippines is among the 25 major fish producing countries in the world. In 2021, fisheries industry produced 3.11 million metric tons of fish, which was lower than 2020 total volume of fish production. In fact, those building fisheries is governed by the RA 8550. The Philippine Fishery Code of 1998 is amended by the RA 10654 towards sustainable fishery management. The RA 8550, also known as the Philippine Fishery Code of 1998, is an act providing for development, management, conservation of fisheries and aquatic resources, integrated, local, and for the other purposes, which was enacted on February 17, 1998, and also there are 5 highlighted important updates.
First is to achieve food security to limit access to the fishery and aquatic resources of the Philippines for the exclusive enjoyment of the Filipino citizens. Ensure the rational, sustainable development, management, and conservation of the fishery and aquatic resources in the Philippine waters, including Exclusive Economic Zone or EEZ. Third is the Section 95 of RA 8550, fishing in overfished area and during closed season. It shall be unlawful to fish in overfished area and during closed season. Violation of provision of this section shall be punished by 6 months in 1 day to 6 years of imprisonment and or a fine of 6,000 pesos. Forfeiture of the catch and cancellation of fishing permit or license is also included as a penalty.
Second, to protect the rights of the fisherfolk, especially of the local communities, with priority to the municipal fisherfolk in the preferential use of municipal waters.
Here are some of the prohibitions and penalties included in the Republic Act 8550. First is the Section 88 of RA 8550, fishing through explosives, nauseous or poisonous substance, and or electricity. So it shall be unlawful for any person to catch, take, or gather fish or any fishery species in Philippine waters with the use of electricity, explosives, nauseous, or poisonous substances. It is also unlawful for any person, corporation, or entity to possess, deal in, sell, or in any manner dispose of any fish or fishery species which have been illegally caught, taken, or gathered. For the penalties, mere possession of explosive, nauseous or poisonous substances or electrofishing devices for illegal fishing shall be punishable by 6 months to 2 years of imprisonment. For the actual use of explosives, nauseous or poisonous substances or electrofishing devices for illegal fishing shall be punishable by imprisonment from 5 years to 10 years. For dealing in, selling, or in any manner disposing of, for profit, illegally caught or gathered fishery species shall be punished by imprisonment from 6 months to 2 years. Also, the explosives, nauseous or poisonous substances, and their electrical devices, as well as the fishing vessels, fishing equipment, and catch shall be forfeited, and this is applicable to any case that is mentioned in the Section 88 of RA 8550.
Third, provide support to the fishery sector, primarily to the municipal fishers, folk, including women and youth sectors, through appropriate technology and research, adequate financial, production, construction of post-harvest facilities, marketing assistance, and other services.
Violation of the provision of this section are punishable by imprisonment for 2 years up to 6 years, and a fine of 2,000 pesos to 20,000 pesos. The forfeiture of the catch and the cancellation of a fishing permit are also included.
Fourth, to manage fishery and aquatic resources in a manner consistent with the concept of an integrated coastal area. Management and specific natural fishery and management areas. Appropriately supported by research, technical services, and guidance provided by the state.
Any person who violates this provision shall be punished by imprisonment from 6 months up to 2 years, and also a fine from 2,000 pesos to 20,000 pesos. Take note that the confiscated corals shall either be returned to the sea or donated to schools and museums for educational or scientific purposes or disposed through other means. And lastly, to grant the private sector the privilege to utilize fishery resources under the basic concept that the grantee, licensee, or permit thereof shall not only be a privileged beneficiary of the state but also active participant and partner of the government in the sustainable development, management, conservation, and protection of the fishery and aquatic resources of the country. Violation of the provision of this section shall be punished by imprisonment of 12 years to 20 years and a fine of 120,000 pesos and forfeiture of the catch and a cancellation of fishing permit.
The objective of the fishery sector was to conserve, protect, and sustain management of the country's fishery and aquatic resources. Number 2, poverty alleviation and provision of supplementary livelihood among municipal fisher folk. Number 3, improvement of productivity of aquaculture with ecological limits. Number 4, optimal utilization of offshore and deep sea resources. And number 5, upgrading of post-harvest technology.
The provision of the law code as amended and enforced to all Philippine waters, including other waters, over which Philippines has a sovereignty and jurisdiction, and the country of 200 nautical mile exclusive economic zone, which is the EEZ continental shelf. All aquatic and fishery resources, whether inland and coastal road or offshore fishing areas, including but not limited to fish pond, fish pens, and fish cages. All lands devoted in aquaculture or business and activities relating to fishery, whether it is a private or a public lands. And lastly, all Philippine flag fishing vessels operating in areas governed by a regional fisheries management organization, which is represented as a RFMO in the high seas or in the water other coastal states.
The state shall protect the nation's marine wealth in its archipelago waters, territorial sea, and exclusive economic zone. We must remember that the use of and exploitation of fisheries and aquatic resources in the Philippines shall be reserved exclusively to all Filipinos, provided that the research and service activities may be allowed under strict regulations for surveys, research, science, technological, and educational purposes that will also benefit the Filipino citizens.
The Department of Agriculture, or DOA, is the government responsible for the promotion of agricultural development in our country. Its power and functions are to provide integrated services to the farmer, fisherman, and other agricultural providers. And also, it promulgate and enforce all laws governing the proper utilization of agricultural and fishery resources, conduct, coordinate, and disseminate research studies regarding new technologies for the improvement of agriculture, and also to provide mechanism for the participation of farmers, fishermen, and entrepreneurs at all levels of policymaking, planning, and program formulation.